Welcome back to The Exchange. Here's a live look at the G7 summit in Italy, where President Biden is set to speak any moment now alongside Ukrainian President Zelensky. As we wait for him to take the podium, let's bring in Eamon Javers with what's at stake here. Eamon.
Hey there, Kelly. President Biden and his fellow G7 leaders meeting in Italy this week announced a new agreement to use proceeds from frozen Russian assets in American banks and Western banks to back a $50 billion loan to Ukraine to keep that country in the fight against Russian aggression. A Biden administration official told NBC News that the U.S. is prepared to commit the entire $50 billion if necessary, but the expectation is that other nations will step forward as well. There are about $300 billion in frozen assets held in the West. Some Americans have argued that Western countries should simply confiscate all of that Russian money and send it to Ukraine to finance the war. But European nations appear reluctant to go that far. Among their concerns are driving away capital from other regimes around the world that might fear asset seizures of their own at some point in the future, and a fear of an equivalent Russian response against Western assets in Russia. Earlier, we saw President Biden at a global infrastructure event with two business leaders who are members of the Business Roundtable in the United States and who, if the scheduling had been different, could have been in the room with President Trump today here in Washington, D.C. That's Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella and BlackRock CEO Larry Fink. President Biden is expected to hold a joint press conference with President Zelensky of Ukraine shortly. It's a high-stakes moment on the global stage for both of those two men, and we'll take that live when we see it, Kelly. Obviously, a global split-screen moment here between President Biden on the world stage and President Trump here in the United States on the domestic political stage.
Right. I get. Was it up to the CEOs, I suppose? Were certain of them invited on the Italy trip and others, volunteered or whatnot? Talk to us about the difference in scheduling between the group that we're going to see in Italy and the group that's meeting with CEOs and Republican lawmakers on the Hill today.
Well, my understanding from talking to staffs for both sets of CEOs is that the group that's in Italy, that was preset a while ago. So it's not as if they're making a decision. It'd rather be with Biden than Trump. It's just that situation was in place a long time ago. We know that there are other CEOs who are going to the D.C. event. Not all of those will have been invited to Italy. So it's sort of a mixed bag depending on each CEO's individual situation.
All right, Eamon, we appreciate it very much. Eamon Javers. Yeah. By the way, before we let you go, is there anything else we should expect on top of the reporting about this Ukrainian aid package?
Well, the Ukrainian aid package, obviously Zelensky and what he says about that package, if he expresses gratitude or pushes Western financial institutions to do more in terms of confiscating those Russian assets, that'll be something to watch for. And then here in the United States, we just heard from former President Trump speaking with Republican senators in Washington, Trump saying this is a nation in decline and citing inflation as one of the reasons why, Kelly.
Okay.